Welcome to Lake Arts and Entertainment Showcase, covering the arts throughout all of Lake County. Magnificent arts, music, drama, the theater, and all of the visual arts.
Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Lori Farfaglia, host of the Arts and Entertainment Showcase here on Lakefront TV. I'm in studio today with Rod Padgett, local singer-songwriter. Thanks for joining us, Rod.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me, you have been a singer-songwriter your whole life. Started really early for you.
Yep.
How'd you know? Like, I know you can kind of feel music deep down in your soul, but how'd you know that this was what was going to make you happy and you were going to do forever?
It just kind of made sense. You know, when I was a little kid, I just picked up the guitar. My dad taught me a few chords and they made sense, and I kind of took it from there, and I would sit in my room, you know, with records back in that day.
Yeah.
And I would just learn parts and, you know, learn one part and learn the other and learn different songs. And, you know, my favorite thing was I would sit in the bathroom and because the acoustics were good, and I would take my guitar in there and I thought I was giving a concert. But yeah, so it was just a thing I've kind of always done. So.
Now, have you been classically trained, or it just always came easy to you even when you were?
Yes, I made my teachers at college crazy because I had taught myself. So then when I got to college, they had to unteach me everything I knew. And then when I got out of college, I had to take, you know, a mixture of both of those things.
Your little bad habits you might have taught yourself.
Yep, exactly.
So that makes a big difference when you actually get into a class where somebody's teaching you how to do it as opposed to just picking it up and doing it yourself.
Right. Yeah, you pick up bad habits, but at the end of the day, you know, it's like, well, if it works, it works. But yet, you know, there's things that need to be corrected and, you know, such and such. So.
Well, I want to jump right into hearing your first song, if you don't mind playing for us.
All right, sure.
My life would be a flat line without you. A little crazy, and I smile when I think about the funny things you do. My heart is calling, but I don't think you hear me. I'm just trying to find you. I just want to have you near me. You're like trying to catch the wind, my bare hands. You're like trying to find the sun in the middle of the night. You're like trying to find the puzzle with my eyes closed. But I just might find my way to you again. Complicated when I remember all the good, the bad, in between with you. Separated, and I'm finding that my compass just keeps pointing back to you. My heart is calling, but I don't think you hear me. I'm just trying to find you. I just want to have you near me. You're like trying to catch the wind with my bare hands. You're like trying to find the sun in the middle of the night. You're like trying to solve a puzzle with my eyes closed. But I just might find my way to you again. My heart is calling, but I don't think you hear me. I'm just trying to find you. I just want to have you near me. You're like trying to catch the wind with my bare hands. You're like trying to find the sun in the middle of the night. You're like trying to solve a puzzle with my eyes closed. But I just might find my way to you again. Find my way back to you again. Yeah. Find my way back to you again.
That was fantastic, Rod. Now tell me, you wrote that song. When did you write it? And how do you get your inspiration?
Well, it depends. Sometimes there's a project and I need a song by tomorrow, and so you get inspired. And then sometimes there's something going on in life, and you write kind of for yourself, and then hope that it makes its way to other people and such. So just depends on the situation.
Are you always kind of writing songs in your
Yeah.
head? You're jotting stuff down, remembering? Was that how you do it?
Yep.
Everywhere.
There's little pieces of part songs all over my house.
Now, do you write songs for other people, or
Yeah.
you do?
Yeah.
Have you written any that we would know, or?
Yes, I've written some songs for churches that a lot of churches around the world are singing, so
Oh,
that's
wow.
been real cool. And if you have kids, I've written some songs that I worked with the Chick-fil-A company
Oh, yeah.
and placed some songs in a lot of public schools. In fact, my little girl brought home the program that I wrote music for, so that was a real cool thing.
Wow, that's
So,
exciting.
Yeah. So.
Well, when you're playing your music and you kind of have your own style and you developed your own style, tell me what differentiates your style of music from maybe somebody else's, or from other styles?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're writing for. If I'm writing for an artist, then my goal is to try to work with them, especially if I'm producing the project, then my goal is to figure out who they are. And a lot of times I co-write with them so that we can kind of come out of their own experience and such, and then trying to figure out, well, what's the style of what they're trying to portray and that sort of thing. If I'm writing for a church service, then I'm writing specifically, geared toward that. Well, what can people sing along with? So you write the melody a little bit differently. If I'm writing for a band, then, you're writing according to that. So it just depends on what the context is.
What is your favorite kind of music that you feel most comfortable with writing? Is there a certain kind, or you just love it all?
I love it all.
You
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear something else from you.
The back of my heart has a closet with a chest of secrets under lock and key. Sacred and profound that I got tightly in a place between myself and me. The walls consist of more than brick and mortar. I'm a virtuoso in the art of the concealed. I need a place where I can crack it open, where I can be more honest and more real. Yeah. So love me when you see my wounds and bruises. Love me when I show you who I am. Help me put away all the lame excuses. Take the introspection self-exam. Yeah. Closets are in everybody's houses. Who wants to have a house and be alone? So come inside my house and share my closet, and we can find the meaning of a home. We can find the meaning
That was pretty powerful.
Thanks.
You can tell that you feel it all over when you're playing.
Good.
What kind of inspiration can you give to younger people, you know, to tell them how to get this gift that they might have in them out?
Well, first off, one of the things I love to tell people is there's a misconception that when you write songs, it's like this, you know, gift that comes down from heaven. And the thing is, songwriting is a craft and anybody can learn it. I can't teach you to write a great song. That's where the talent and that's where the gift comes. But songwriting is like, you know, building a piece of furniture, and anybody can learn how to do it. However, I don't have that gift. So if I build a piece of furniture, you might not want to sit in it. But I can teach anybody the mechanics of writing a, you know, song from the musical standpoint and from the lyrical standpoint. But, you know, to kids, I would say if you're interested in it, listen to a lot of music, listen to a lot of styles, listen to good music. Read good literature, you know, submerge yourself in good, you know, words and good language, and, you know, just put that inside your head, because, you know, as I'm writing a lyric, you know, I'm drawing from anything I've ever written and all the vocabulary, you know, the stupid vocabulary tests when you're in high school. You know, thank God, you know,
They really do have a purpose.
They have a purpose because, you know, you want the right word to express exactly not only the right meaning, but the right emotion, you know, behind the meaning when you know, because in songwriting, you know, as opposed to like people ask me, well, you know, people come to me, well, I've written this poem and can you set it to music, you know? And although songwriting uses poetic devices, songwriting is, the lyrics and songs are different than poems in that a song lyric is meant to be heard in a finite amount of time. I've got to write a lyric that when you just heard that song in 3.5 minutes, you could catch the meaning of it. In a poem, you can sit and you can look at it on paper and you can study it, and it's not, you know, it's not having to be contained to a finite amount of time. Where a song, I've got the 3 minutes, the 3.5 minutes, whatever, to communicate what I'm trying to say. So that's the difference. So the words are important, you know, and every word that I choose, I labor over them and try to come up with exactly the right word picture to communicate, you know, everything behind what I'm trying to say. So to kids, I would say read, listen to music, study, you know, study different styles. You know, when you're young, you want to just do one thing. And, you know, I would encourage them to listen to everything, you know, broaden, you know, your horizons. So
You just dispelled a lot of misconceptions, I think, on, because you said anybody could write music.
I could teach you to write a song.
I don't know if you could teach
could.
me to write a song, but do you teach classes on that? Have you taught
Yes,
classes
we have
on
classes
that? You
through
really
the
do?
Center for the Arts where I'm involved. I'm the performing arts liaison there, and we teach classes there. And we also have a series called CFA Live, and we have a thing called Songwriters Night. And what we do is we gather a few songwriters in the room, and people are invited to come. And we talk about what we're talking about, and we share our songs, kind of a lot like what we're doing today. And you can come and you can hear some local, you know, singer-songwriters, and it's kind of a pretty cool thing. I'm excited
So if
about
anybody was interested in that, they would go to the Center for the Arts website?
Yes.
Do you have
Leesburg Center, the number 4 arts.com.
Okay. Well, great. Well, let's hear another song.
Okay.
Niceties and pleasantries and things we often say lie the undercurrent of contempt, hiding in the manners of the social shadow cast. There is a darker heart we won't present. Hollow smiles, hollow eyes, hollow words, and whitish lines. Hollow smiles, hollow eyes, actors on stage, but in the sky. closets filled with bones we shall withhold. Maybe giving, maybe taking, maybe living still. Fences clothe our warm smiles in a chill. Hollow smiles, hollow eyes, hollow words, whitish lies, hollow smiles, hollow eyes, actors on stage, but in disguise. Unresolved and yet to be absolved, though some would say a perfect recipe to avoid the fray, and they stay safe for another day. Ooh, hollow smiles, hollow eyes, hollow words, whitish lies, hollow smiles, hollow eyes, actors on a stage, but in disguise.
So when you're writing a piece of music, do you hear the words first? Do they come to you first? Are you thinking about the music first, or is it all?
Everybody wants to know that.
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, sometimes yes, yes, and yes. The answer is yes, because it depends on the situation. If I'm just writing for myself, sometimes I'll get a lyrical idea. I'll be watching a movie or reading a book, or somebody may say something, and I go, aha, and I get an idea, and that's where I scurry off, and I've got the little pieces of paper that are half-written songs all over my house. But sometimes it starts with that, or sometimes I'm doodling on my guitar and I come up with a melody, or a little guitar lick or something, and then, that becomes the basis. Sometimes they come together, all at the same time. Because the idea with this whole kind of singer-songwriter genre that, I'm kind of performing today, the idea is that the music and the lyrics support each other and kind of are on equal footing. In some forms of music, it's really more about, the music. Mm-hmm. Handel's Messiah, awesome piece of music. It's the same, 3 phrases over and over for 4 minutes. Uh-huh. It's about the music, and the lyric is just, something for people to sing this amazing melody and harmony parts, and some forms of music are about different things, whereas with the singer-songwriter kind of a genre, it's really about the music and the lyrics supporting each other and being on equal footing. And so as I'm writing, like the last song was kind of an introspective, it was kind of a editorial, on people not being honest about kind of how they really, how you doing? Oh, I'm great. Well, really, are you? And it's kind of an editorial on that. So it's kind of a little bit darker of a subject, so I wrote it with kind of a minor music and some dissonance in the chords and such, to try to bring about that feeling. So it's really, about that, but I'll have instances where somebody brings me a lyric and says, I need music for this, and then I have other instances where people, have music and need me to write a lyric for it. So I've done, all of it. So it's really yes. Is your answer.
To all of it.
Long
yes,
story,
to all of it.
long answer, yes.
Well, where do you play locally that people watching might be able to come out and hear you?
I'm playing in several different restaurants in the area and doing a solo thing a lot like this with my acoustic guitar and singing, and I do some of my originals that you're hearing, and then I do some covers of some familiar songs that you would know. And then I also play with a band called Jericho, and we do kind of a rock thing, and we are playing in some local restaurants here as well as some of the festivals around the area. And then I also play at my church, which is Good News Church, which is here in Leesburg, downtown. And so you can check me out at any of those places. And I'm working on a website right now, which is rodpadgett.com.
Okay.
And very soon you can come and check out my schedule there. And then the band's website is jerichoband.com. And then also the Center for the Arts. We have a lot of programs that I'm working with through these guys, and it's Leesburg Center for Arts.com.
Okay, well, great. Would you mind playing us off one more
Sure.
song as we go?
Be glad to. All right, this is kind of a little silly song about the differences between men and women. So.
When she says she's ill, she's not talking about the flu. And just about that time, you better find something else to do. And when she flashes you her whites, you may have some fun tonight. Just about that time, you better hold on tight. She goes from dog to cat, from sunny to gray. She can be 6 different people in the very same day. She changes like the weather as she comes and goes away. Through it all, she loves to hear you say, baby, baby, it's okay. She spends her time on Venus while you hang out on Mars. She shops for scented lotions while you puff on big cigars. My point cannot be clearer, sir. You don't have a clue. Just love her for exactly who she is, and she'll love you. She goes from dog to cat, from sunny to gray. She can be 6 different people in the very same day. It's like the weather as she comes and goes away. Through it all, she loves to hear you say, baby, baby, it's okay. Yeah. She goes from dog to cat, from sunny to gray. She can be 6 different people in the very same day.